just built this amazing scroll-triggered responsive timeline entirely in Elementor. No plugins, no hidden costs, just pure Elementor editing with some custom CSS that you can copy and paste. So here is how it works. As you scroll, the timeline smoothly comes into view, and when one section stops, the next timeline section flows right in. It's a sleek, engaging way to showcase product milestones, tell a story, or highlight a journey in style. I'll guide you step by step on how to create this Apple timeline yourself. And if you need the code, it's in the pinned comments below, no strings attached. I wrote it, tested it thoroughly, and it's ready to go. Let's dive in. We will start by creating the main container. First, I'm adding a full width container to the page. I'll set the direction to vertical as the timeline is going to scroll down. Set the width to 1300 pixel and leave the gap at 0 for both rows and columns. For the background, I'm setting it to black to make the timeline stand out. Let's rename this container main. Next, we'll add the timeline container inside the main container. I'll set its direction to vertical to make sure everything looks spaced out evenly. I'll set justify content to space between and also set the gap and padding to 0 for a clean layout. Now let's create the structure inside the timeline. I'll add 3 smaller containers here. First, add the left container, set the width to this, then another container with 10% width and aligned to center, and finally a right container with 45% width. Rename the containers for easy management later on. Now let's add content to the left container.
But before that, whenever I do some design work for my clients, I make sure to add this free plugin called Airlift because, okay, let me actually show you this. So that's my site speed before and that's after. It does a lot of optimizations automatically and keeps things fast. So you should definitely try this and I'll leave the link in the description below.
Now let's add content to the left container. I'm inserting a heading here and then I'll style it to fit the design and give it the CSS class name DM timeline left. To create some space, I'll add 10 pixel padding to the top and bottom. For height, I'll set a minimum of 50 VH to give it enough breathing room. Now for the right container, I'm adding another heading, styling it a little, adding a description box, and finally, I'll add an image. Now let's work on the middle container which holds the timeline bar. First, I'll assign it a CSS class name and add 10 pixel padding to the top and the bottom. Inside the container, I'm adding another container for the gray bar. I'll set its width to 3 pixel, minimum height to 100%, and background color to dark gray. I'll also give it a class for easy styling. I'll duplicate the gray bar container, paste it inside the same middle container, and rename it progress bar. I'll remove the minimum height and assign it a different class name so we can style it separately. To make it interactive, I'll add a marker. I'm inserting an icon, choosing a dot circle shape, centering it, and giving it a pink color with a size of 35 pixel. I'll set its Z index to 1 so it stays on top. Now let's position everything. I'll use absolute positioning for the progress bar, setting it to top 0 and left 0. For the gray bar, I'll also use absolute positioning, but offset it by 50% on the left and adjust it with the transform property to center it perfectly. To make the timeline work, I'll add some HTML. I'll select the timeline container, insert an HTML widget, and paste the CSS code. This is where the scroll-triggered animation magic happens. Move the icon container up so that it's under the middle container. Now let's make sure the design works perfectly on all devices. For tablets, I'll reduce the heading sizes in the left and right containers to fit the screen better. Then I'll adjust the padding for the right container to maintain balance. For mobile, I'll change the timeline direction to vertical and set the left container heading height to 0 VH. I'll also reduce all heading sizes for better readability and tweak the right container's padding. Setting it to around 50 pixel from the right works well. The left and the right containers will have their widths adjusted to 90%, while the middle container stays at 10%. The grey bar and the progress bar will stay at 3 pixel wide to keep everything consistent. Now to add more sections, I'll duplicate the timeline container. Before doing this, I'll make sure the HTML element is placed outside of the timeline container to prevent duplicating it. Then I'll simply duplicate the timeline container as many times as needed. The idea here is to set up different containers for different sections. For example, here, I'll be setting up my first section for the first Mac, the second slide will be for the iPod, and so on. But you can also do this for anything else you want or even for your personal brand story. I've also made another design for Ferrari and I'll show you that in the end. Now let's add a finishing touch with an overlay effect. First, I'll select the middle container of the first timeline. I'll create a new container here and name it overlay. Its height will be set to 100 pixel and I'll style it with a gradient background that fades from black to transparent. Then I'll position it absolutely at left 0, top 0. I'll copy this overlay container and paste it into the last timeline section. This time, I'll position it at left 0, bottom 0, and reverse the radiant angle to 0 degrees, creating a smooth fade at the end of the page. Alright, the design is all set. Now let's check it out in action. See how smoothly the timeline glides as we scroll. And here's the Ferrari version that I promised. The possibilities are endless. I can't wait to see how you use this effect on your own projects. Good luck, see you in the next video. Click here if you want to 3x your site speed in just 1 minute. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Click here and I'll see you there.